Welcome to Ellie Solutions for a new Jira Administrators Series video tutorial. My name is Courtney, and today we will be going over conditions in the advanced workflows. Conditions in a workflow verify that a predefined criteria has been met. If it hasn't, the transition button will not appear. Today's objectives will be to configure workflow conditions based on Assignee, reporter, and user group conditions. Let's go to the existing advanced workflow and edit it. We will focus on the start progress transition between the open and the in progress status. Let's click on the transition and click on conditions. As you can see, there are no conditions set in the transition. Let's change that. Click the Add Condition button. Now there are a lot of different options here. We'll discuss the main conditions that focus on user access. The only assignee condition means that only the person the issue is currently assigned to will be able to actually trigger the start work transition. Anybody else that has visibility into the issue could still see the ticket, but wouldn't have the start progress transition button present. The only reporter condition allows only the issue reporter to transition the issue. A permission condition will gate the transition, only making it available to users that have access to a certain permission in this project's permission scheme. The user is in group condition will block the transition for any users not in this specified group or groups. The user is in group custom field condition allows only users in a custom field specified group to execute a transition. User is in project role condition works exactly like user is in a group, except it limits it only to users in an individual project role. Let's get started by adding the only assignee condition. We'll select it from the list, and then we'll go down and click the Add button. Let's publish the changes. After the changes are published, we will keep the tab with the latest workflow changes and close the previous tab. Let's quickly validate this change by creating a new ticket. As you can see, I'm not able to see the start progress transition because I'm not the assignee. Let's assign the ticket to myself. And now you can see that the transition button appears. Next, let's go back on the conditions configuration page to add more conditions to the advanced workflow. We are going to add the user is in group condition. Now notice when I selected the user is in group condition and added it, I was presented with an additional configuration page. This is because before the condition can be added, I need to actually select what groups trigger the condition. We are going to add the developers group and then select Update. To finalize this condition, you can see on the top that I can choose to have all of following conditions or any of the following conditions met. We will select all of the following conditions option. Let's publish the changes and validate them. As you can see, we don't see the transition. That's because we are not part of the developers group. We will go to the user management, add the user to the developers group and check again. Now since we are the assignee and are part of the developers group, we can see the transition. Now let's go back to the advanced workflow to add more conditions to show you additional features. If I hover over the existing condition, I have the opportunity to delete it. Some conditions can be edited, which can be done by clicking this pencil. This one, however, cannot be edited. If I go to the second condition, this one can be edited. Let's focus on the grouped conditions. You can use this icon to group conditions together. I'm going to hover over the only assignee condition, and then select the Add Grouped option. It will then prompt me to select a new condition to add to this group. I'm going to go ahead and add the only reporter condition. Now, notice in this box, I have a few grouped conditions. Then outside the box, I have another conditions. On the grouped condition, I'm going to change the drop-down from all to any. So essentially, what this grouped condition says now is that either the current assignee of the issue or the reporter of the issue can select this transition. If I selected all of the following conditions, the user would have to be the assignee and the reporter before they could transition this issue. This is where grouping comes very helpful. For the main condition, we will keep all of the following conditions option. So in addition to being an assignee or a reporter of this ticket, the user also has to be in the developers group to see the start progress transitions. Let's validate the changes. As you can see, I am the assignee and the reporter, and I'm part of the developers group, so I can see the start progress transition. Let's set the assignee and reporter to John Smith. As you can see, since I'm neither the assignee nor the reporter, the transition disappears. Let's now set the assignee to myself and leave the reporter to John Smith. Now the transition appears. I will now switch the assignee to John Smith and the reporter to myself. Once the reporter is set, I see the start progress transition. And this is how you set conditions in your advanced workflows. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more Jira tutorials.